looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, and with Matic starting to inch up, you actually have a very short, and again, this is very short term because I think you and I both agree we're headed towards 57 to 59% dominance. But this is a little bit of a bearish pattern, and interesting to see the alts beginning to show a little sign of life. What I would be almost expecting is some sort of secondary short-term move. And again, mind you, short-term move, but a short-term pullback, maybe right around 50% before that next leg up.
As the founder and CEO of InTheMoneyStocks.com, Soloway has honed his skills in analyzing market charts, identifying patterns, and forecasting price movements. In this video, Soloway talks about a short-term bearish pattern in the Bitcoin dominance chart, indicating a potential temporary pullback before resuming the upward trend towards a Bitcoin dominance of 59%. Bitcoin recently regained 50% dominance with the safe haven narrative after 2 years of market uncertainty. Investor confidence in Bitcoin was fueled by the Blackrock Bitcoin ETF filing, SEC's crypto exchanges lawsuits, and Fidelity rumors. Nearly everything's green after a federal judge weighed in on whether XRP is a security. That momentum has propelled Ether, the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap, over $2,000 for the first time in over 2 months. The last time that Ether traded above $2,000 was on May 5, according to CoinGecko. Ether briefly popped above $2,100 in April, but other than those two brief time periods, Ether has remained under the $2,000 threshold over the last 11 months. While overall the Soloway gives a bearish outlook for Ether, expecting it to break down before any further move to the upside. Soloway considers MicroStrategy solely as a Bitcoin play. The market value of Bitcoin assets form 95% of the market capitalization of MicroStrategy, and net of debt raised to buy Bitcoin equate to about 49% of the market cap of the company, the report added. Soloway believes that the introduction of a Bitcoin ETF could affect MicroStrategy's value, potentially leading to a decline. Soloway expects that if the market doesn't bottom out until early 2024, it would deviate from the expected 4-year cycle. We will now bring you clips of Gareth Soloway. Before we proceed further in this video, please make sure to subscribe our channel and click the bell icon to stay updated.
Just looking at the ETH chart real quick, I saw a couple questions asking about the ETH analysis. And, just from a technical standpoint, you're above this channel. So you had a little bit of a breakout of the channel, but the price action over the last week or so has not been good, where you made a higher high and then you reversed that pretty quickly, and you're making a little bit of a bearish pattern here. So based on this, the probabilities are that we probably need to retest this line right here before maybe making an attempt to rally up. Now, one of the things to look at here in terms of technicals is if you look at this trend line, look at how this trend line is ready to merge into it. One of my favorite technical plays on a chart is if price comes into two moving average. Well, you could have moving averages, you could have one moving average and a trend line, but essentially the idea is if you liked it at a moving average, or if you liked it at one trend line, if you get two trend lines together, it creates an even stronger support. So if, let's just say we pull back into this area, let's say it takes that long, this would be an even better buying opportunity on ETH for a bounce versus if it was just coming down right to here where it's just one. All right. So again, just kind of something to kind of keep in mind there. So I think that's a really good point, is where, if you look at the MicroStrategy's chart, and essentially we know how much Bitcoin they're holding, essentially more Bitcoin than the rest of their business is worth by 10x, or maybe even more than that. So I think you're right on that, is that you bring in an ETF that's spot. Well, now again, you could argue that MicroStrategy has been the equivalent of the ETF for Bitcoin that is spot based, because it goes up and down so much with that spot price of Bitcoin. So I do think you're right about that. I think we might see MicroStrategy lose some value and come back to a more realistic price based on Bitcoin times how many coins they have on their balance sheet. I think you value the company slightly, but to be honest, their underlying business is not worth that much. It's worth, a small amount. So I think that is a very good point on MicroStrategies. It kind of takes away the idea of playing it to just be a Bitcoin. Cycles like that tend to repeat in all assets. And again, it's just something to keep in mind. I know everyone's so into this 4-year cycle, but that certainly would throw a curveball in the 4-year cycle if we don't bottom out until early 2024.
The daily time frame technical analysis for Polygon gives a bullish outlook. Despite the breakout, MAID-AC has now yet initiated a significant upward movement. Rather, it trades very close to its pre-breakout level. While the MAID-AC price has increased since June 10 and has done so inside an ascending parallel channel, This is considered a bearish pattern, meaning that an eventual breakdown from it is likely. Gareth Soloway expressed his belief that altcoins will be able to establish their valuations once there is clarity from the SEC. Cryptocurrencies that the U.S. Securities and Exchanges Commission deemed unregistered securities in last month's lawsuits against Coinbase and Binance have posted double-digit percentage gains on the news of a favorable court ruling regarding Ripple's XRP. While Soloway explains that Polygon appears to be stronger relative to other altcoins. Let's get back to interview.
This is the Polygon chart. And again, just from a pure technical standpoint, you see this trend line and then this one, which this one goes all the way back to February of this year, connecting through these highs. And look at what's happening to Matic right here, Polygon. It's beginning to break out. So again, and by the way, this doesn't mean like, oh, it's going back to $1 or $5. This is just a short-term breakout where upside to me maybe back to about 83 cents, which again, 13 cents higher on a 70-cent move. That's actually, what is that, about 20% move. So again, this just crossed my plate this morning and I'm like, okay, this does kind of tell me that the alts may, at least some of these alts that have really been beaten down, may be on the verge of getting a little reflex rally to the upside. And if we take a look at Cardano, let's just see what we got on that one, because that's kind of in the same path. This one, interestingly enough, is not doing that. So for me, this area right here would be the breakout, these highs. And short term, we haven't even gone up there. Matic, in comparison, would be trading up against this downsloping line or breaking above. So interestingly enough, Cardano is lagging Polygon versus Polygon's actually looking a lot stronger relative to some of the other altcoins. And just for those of you out there that are new to technical analysis, one of the reasons why this, or the main, just like you're mentioning, there's a 20 moving average there, but also when you look at price and it kind of comes down and it trades sideways, the reason why that creates resistance when you're below and you're coming back above is because to go sideways in a chart, there's a lot of buyers and sellers that are meeting, right? They're kind of, buyers are selling, and then or buyers are buying, sellers are selling, and that's why price doesn't go up or down. It kind of just goes sideways. But you get a whole new group of buyers there, right? So think about, let's say I was there, and I'm not, but let's say I was one of the buyers and I was at 85 cents. Well, all of a sudden it broke down. I thought it was going to go this way, and again, I'm speaking from the perspective of being a retail trader. And instead it dumped out to 50 cents. I found myself down on this trade, hypothetically down 30-40%, right? And so the thought process is when I get made whole, when I get back to break even, I was sweating when it was down there. Oh my goodness, the SEC is going to, crush all these things. I get back to break even. There's a psychological want for me to say, okay, I'm back to break even. My account is back to where it was. Cut it. Just get out. Just say, be thankful. And that's why these turn out to be pivot points on the chart where there's resistance on the way back up. You get all these buyers that were buying in here and then thinking it was breaking out. They're all now selling and saying, all right, thank goodness I got out without being crushed too much. I really do think, and I think I even said it last time, is that, the alts at some point will be able to figure out their valuations once we get clarity from the SEC, right? And so the SEC will say, okay, these are the rules. And then all of a sudden, big money will be able to start valuing these things. And so whether, the market caps on a Matic should be 5 billion or 25 billion or maybe 50 billion, we don't know yet, because again, we don't know what the real valuations are, but that will become clear. And my guess is at that point, that's where the value really starts to, and by the way, that's actually a good thing. Like investors need to understand that any sort of additional information that these coins can give us makes them the clarity and the transparency much better, which allows us, even as retail investors, to say, okay, I think I should pay here for this versus where it was before. And I think that's important for us. And this is what we would refer to, again, a sharp candle down with a little inside bar consolidation that might be telling us that. So that's another signal from a TA, just strictly short-term technical analysis, that maybe the alts are waking up. And then it brings, and again, I'll let you comment in just a minute on the dominance, but I do want to just bring up the Solana move has been really impressive. And that's another alt, right? Where Solana just in the last, really just since June, mid-June, so we're talking less than a month or right about a month, is up 50% off of its lows, which is very, very impressive.
Looking ahead, the future outlook for altcoins, including Solana, Polygon, and Cardano, appears promising. While the Bitcoin's popularity and demand continue to rise over time, nothing is stopping its price from hitting $1 million. What are your thoughts on the recent resurgence in Bitcoin's dominance? and its potential impact on the overall cryptocurrency market? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. If you find this video informative, don't forget to show your support towards our channel by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to stay informed about our latest videos covering more interesting topics. Thank you for watching.